Alright, we now have the second of the big three fighters, and the one I was excited for the most, Mortal Kombat 1. With Street Fighter 6 still standing strong despite those $15 TMNT costumes that were only for the avatar, what the hell was that all about? And Tekken 8 targeting January of next year, it's time to figure out if this game was worth the 4-year wait. Mortal Kombat 1 was developed by NetherRealm Studios and published by Warner Bros. Games. This serves as both the series' second reboot and a continuation of Mortal Kombat 11 and its Aftermath DLC. To give a brief overview, Raiden gave Liu Kang his thunder powers, making him Fire God Liu Kang. After defeating Kronika and Shang Tsung and gaining control of the Hourglass, Liu Kang creates a new era filled with prosperity and peace, as well as major changes to the stories of the main characters. However, something unexpected shows up and threatens the peace. Now Liu Kang has to Avengers assemble a team of Earthrealm's fiercest warriors.
It's a great story. Bullshit. But great. You should seriously consider becoming a screenwriter. What in the actual fuck?
Good evening, Johnny Cage.
Considering how much I hated Mortal Kombat 11's story, it's nice to see that Mortal Kombat 1's is much better, though with its own setbacks. The story definitely started off really strong. I love how Chapter 2 starts off with us playing through one of Johnny Cage's movies. Johnny is probably my favorite character in the story too. He's the funniest, but also has a great character arc throughout it all. A lot of the main characters are actually well written now that I think about it. There are your resident jobbers that don't add anything like Havoc and Reiko, but the main group of heroes get enough screen time to make us care about each of them. And I personally loved Scorpion's arc with the ending and the creation of Shirai Ryu. And finally, it's great that the beginning of the game actually focused on the Mortal Kombat tournament. I liked the Civil War plotline Mortal Kombat X had, but I like just seeing good old magic martial arts again. I do have one big problem with the game though, and this will require me to spoil the story mode more than I already did. It's that the second half becomes a fucking multiverse story, for fuck's sake, as if we haven't had enough of those already. Everything from this moment onward becomes this weird, convoluted clusterfuck that's hard for me to keep up with. How did Dark Shang get a hold of Shinnok's amulet? Why is it that when the Kombat kids show up in the ending, it's Mortal Kombat X Cassie, Mortal Kombat 11 Jackie, and Mortal Kombat 1 Takeda? How did the final fight in Aftermath turn 11's katana into a titan? Why did NRS forget to add a subtitle file for this specific scene? Why would Dark Shang go through the effort of making Quan Chi and Original Shang build the Dragon Crown when he didn't need it in the first fucking place? I'll admit, the ending sequence where you climb up the tower with your chosen fighter is fun as hell and really reminiscent of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but it has less impact because it's all these weird, different multiversal variants of the characters and not the characters themselves. And the end credits scene tries to hype up Lord Jobber as the next boss. You know who would have been a better boss to hype up for the sequel, especially since Yujinko is a cameo fighter? Onaga.
Such wasted potential.
Also, Megan Fox sucks as Tatara.
We can't help what we are. That we feed on blood doesn't make us evil.
I much prefer the story mode here over what we got in Mortal Kombat 11, but this story isn't without its faults either. It starts off strong, but becomes a muddled mess in the end. Mortal Kombat 1 is a traditional 2.5D fighter like Street Fighter. However, the biggest new addition to the game is the cameo system. This is a system that allows you to call in another fighter to assist you with your combos. You can choose from a separate roster of fighters and using a directional input call the cameo in to assist you. This game also incorporates the air combat system introduced in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. The fighting system here is a vast improvement over what we got in Mortal Kombat 11. It's faster paced, more reminiscent of Mortal Kombat 2011. The air combat system is really cool, giving you more aerial versatility than we did in any NRS MK game. While Serena is probably the cameo queen right now, the cameo system in general is the best thing to come out of this game. It provides another creative outlet for players to easily get 30 plus hit combos, and also provides some defense if you use cameos like Motaro. Out of all the NRS MK games, this one is definitely the best in terms of fighting style. One other thing I want to mention, Mortal Kombat 1 also has a new game mode replacing its classic Crypt side mode called Invasions. This game mode mixes the Crypt and the Conquest mode from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. You explore a tabletop RPG realm, engage in fights with random elements, level up your characters, and unlock exclusive cosmetics. Every season you'll be able to explore a new map, so I guess this is the closest thing we're getting to a battle pass. The first season is called Season of the Spectre and it's themed around Hanzo Hasashi's Scorpion from the previous timeline. So far, I kinda prefer Invasions over the Towers of Time we got last game. They both function pretty similarly, but I find Invasions to be more innovative. There's also a bunch of mini-games in between the random fights like Test Your Might and the Survive segments. It's a pretty good way to grind not only mastery for your characters, but also your profile level in general since you need to level up to unlock some cameos. And the best part of it all? There's no severed head grind. Let's go, that's what I've been waiting for.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Unrelated, I made a joke on Instagram that went like, what if the final boss of Invasions is NRS era Hanzo because he's pissed that Kuai Liang is sleeping with Harumi? And that's literally the plot of the first season.
When Scorpion reached ours, he was crushed to find that, though alive, Harumi was wedded to Kuai Liang. Thwarted yet again, Scorpion's frustration exploded into rage.
The last thing I want to compliment the game for is this. This is, in my opinion, the best Mortal Kombat roster we've ever gotten. This respects every single era of MK. From the classic characters like Rain and Reptile to the 3D era characters like Li Mei, Havoc, Ashura, and Nitara especially, to the NRS era with Garrus and Takeda as DLC. And the cameo roster gets to add 3D characters with a cult following that probably can't be added onto the base roster like Shujinko and Darius. Sure, some characters like Jade got shafted, especially since Reiko uses a staff like Jade, but come on, she was in MK11. Nitara hasn't been seen in 17 years, let the fans have this. I'll be honest, I was a bit worried about the optimization leading to the game's release. It's 95 gigabytes on Steam and I saw it can get up to 140 on Xbox. The game utilizes de novo DRM, and while I'm not the kind of gamer to go to the Steam forums and wish death upon any developer that uses DRM, I can acknowledge that sometimes it leads to performance issues. And with how AAA games have been performing on PC lately, my caution was through the roof. And I'm happy to say that so far it's been great. I did occasionally have hitches and stutters during fatal blows and such, but in the main gameplay itself it's a smooth 60 frames. It's pretty impressive, especially considering the game is running on a new engine. And the game doesn't look terrible. I was running it on default graphics settings and it's great. So unless your PC really hates de novo, I feel like you'll have no trouble running it at all. The game is still in early access as of writing this, so I don't want to mention anything related to the microtransactions. Instead I'll bitch about a few other things. How come we can't see intro dialogues in the towers or even before combat league sets? These intro dialogues are the only bit of characterization the characters get outside of the story mode, and the YouTube videos that showcase all the dialogues make hella views, so it kinda sucks to see them absent from most of the game. Also, the customization is very lackluster compared to what we got in Mortal Kombat 11. In that game, you got to choose from a bunch of gear as well as your own intros and victory poses. I can kind of imagine the intros being harder to make because of the whole clashing thing they got going on before each match, but the victories? There's no reason to not have any custom ones like the last game. The only microtransaction thing I want to complain about is this. Why is Shang Tsung a pre-order bonus in this game? Locking Goro behind a paywall in MKX wasn't as bad because he's not in the story. The same goes with Shao Kahn in MK11 because he has a minor role in the main story and only becomes one of the main antagonists in Aftermath. But here, not only is Shang Tsung the main villain of the story, but he's playable in the story mode. I don't understand why he had to be a pre-order bonus. What's next, Scorpion in the next game? In short, I'm gonna go on record to say that this is one of, if not the best Mortal Kombat game we've ever gotten. The story is much better than the previous games, bar the ending. The cameo system is the best thing this game has brought to the table, and the roster respects every single generation of Mortal Kombat. This is in every way a celebration of the entire franchise. If this game interests you, Mortal Kombat 1 is available on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC via Steam in the Epic Games Store, and the Nintendo Switch? No, seriously, how the fuck are they gonna skip the old gen consoles in favor of current gen but release it on the fucking Switch? Did they forget how bad the Switch port of Mortal Kombat 11 was? I'd be a little more forgiving if this was a Switch 2 that's supposedly launching with Final Fantasy VII Remake, but no, it's the default Switch. The best part is, a week before Early Access started, the Switch version got leaked and it's fucking terrible. There are two versions of the game, three if you want to count the collector's edition. The main two editions are standard and premium. The standard edition costs $70 and just comes with the base game. The premium edition costs $110 and comes with the base game, 1250 Dragon Crystals, and Combat Pack 1. Combat Pack 1 comes with 6 new DLC characters, 5 new cameo fighters, 1 week of early access to the new DLC fighters, and a skin for Johnny Cage resembling Belgian martial artist and actor Jean-Claude Van Damme. The upcoming DLC fighters in order of release are Omni-Man from Amazon's Invincible series, legacy character Ermac, Peacemaker from DC's Peacemaker HBO series, legacy character Quan Chi, Takeda Takahashi returning from his debut in Mortal Kombat X, and finally Homelander from Amazon's The Boys series. The only character with a confirmed release window is Homelander, that being spring 2024. The cameo fighters are all returning characters. These are Tremor, Johnny Cage, Chameleon, Mavado, and Farah. It's unclear if these cameo fighters will be released alongside the DLC fighters or will all be available at the same time at some point. Also, while originally included as a pre-order bonus, Shang Tsung will most likely be available for $5.99 when the game is readily available. On a side note, imagine how cool it would have been if we got a guest cameo to partner up with the DLC guests, like Invincible for Omni-Man, Vigilante for Peacemaker, and Black Noir for Homelander. Let's hope they do that for Combat Pack 2.
I saw that and I was just like, oh.
No! Are you fucking serious?
He's getting his ass beat.
That's not supposed to fucking happen! God damn it! Fuck!